Hello again. I am Janet. I am with you with another video. Guys, I know it has been a long time since my last video. Thank you so much, by the way. You sent me hundreds of messages. It was really tough 6 months for me because I lost my uncle, then I lost my dad. And it was really devastating for me. And of course, I was sad and I was not in the mood to record anything. And on top of that, I was really busy because once I lost my uncle and dad within 5 months, before that happened, I bid for Captain Upgrade in August 2024. Then in November 2024, I started my upgrade course. Yes, this is all about upgrading. So now I'm a captain. I switched the seat from right to left, so it was an easy transition for me. I liked 737, so I was a 737 first officer. I had lots of hours over there, so I just changed the seat. Thank God that I didn't need to deal with the equipment change, so I'm still in 737. All I needed to is just adjust from right to left. Today, we're gonna discuss in details how was my upgrade experiences and what did I do, what was my seniority, what I'm expecting right now, where am I gonna be based at, and whole upgrade experience. When I bid for the upgrade, I was super excited, right? It was my first ever upgrade in my life. That was also my third company, having worked for 3 different airlines and accumulated more than 5,500 hours, having flown more than 100 different countries. I've been to all around the world. Now I'm super excited to upgrade, right? 5,500 hours. I got upgraded within 2 years in this legacy that before never heard of. It is really interesting times we are in. Though hiring slowed down a little bit. When I was bidding in August, I didn't even think about that, but I was super lucky when I bid in August 2024 and I got awarded for the captain upgrade. I didn't know that that was my only chance. I will talk a little bit in details later on, but if I missed this opportunity, I wouldn't even be a captain now because then it got really senior, so I got right on spot. I'm a quality of life guy, so I'm trying to maximize my salary, but I'm trying to maximize my quality of life way more optimum than the salary itself. And right now, as I told you before, I'm commuting from Turkey. So my priority was still, after upgrading, I would be able to commute. And I was planning to be a line holder. So those are all the variables that I had in my mind before deciding should I upgrade or not. So as a result of that, I was always checking each vacancy bids, and each month there was a new vacancy bids popping up in the system, so I was checking each of them, right? And also there was one obstacle for me to be a captain, which is I didn't have 1,000 Part 121 hours. This is really important. With Emirates, I have flown to United States countless time, but those hours are not counted towards Part 121 hours. So technically, in order to be eligible for upgrade, you need to have 1,000 Part 121 hours. And in the previous vacancies, I was not eligible to bid, but even though I was not eligible, I was checking each of the vacancies just to see what would be my relative seniority if I got awarded in this vacancy. I know I couldn't bid for that, but at least I could check my relative seniority, right? I was getting senior in Newark 737 captain, and I was checking myself, can I be a line holder captain or not? With the current reserve rules, which got better in the last contracts, people started slowly bidding for the reserves, even though they can hold a line. That also helped me a lot, so I said, okay, in August, if I bid for the upgrade, by the time that I start my training, which is in 3 months, and then once I finished my training, I could be a line holder. That's the calculation that I have come up with and I implemented. And also, there's always a lag factor, right? Let's assume that they were closing the vacancy on the 15 noon time, central noon time, and then one day prior to vacancy closes, I didn't even have 1,000 hours, right? So what I did is I knew that I was not eligible if I had this trip, so I swapped them a couple of times. I got really high credit trip, and then with this trip, one day prior at night, I got 1001 hours. So I was only eligible to bid for the upgrade with 1 hour, and 12 hours prior I was eligible for that. So sometimes you gotta be lucky. Why I'm saying that, if I couldn't bid in that vacancy, I was not even able to bid until now. What happened is, after my vacancies, they stopped hiring captains that often. Then in each vacancy, there were only a couple of guys for the upgrade, and it got really super senior. What I'm trying to say is, if I was not able to bid in that vacancy, after almost maybe 7-8 months, I was still not eligible to upgrade in 737. So sometimes you gotta be lucky, and I just got lucky. I'm still more or less will be making the same salary because I will have more time off, hopefully. So now I'm prioritizing my days off over my salary. You need to work only 50 hours to get the 80 hours first officer pay as a captain. So it means roughly 5 to 6 days working less compared to being a first officer. That was my motivation. So that's why, like, really I'm trying to maximize my time off right now. That being said, I'm still below the G line. What is G line? G line is the last pilot who are entitled to get a line, not a reserve. So if you are below G line, you are not guaranteed to get a line. It doesn't mean that you won't get a line, but you're not guaranteed. Contractually, the G line pilot will be awarded a line. For myself, I am always planning to be a line holder rather than being a reserve, because once you are a line holder, you can trade the trips, you can drop the trips, you have all the flexibility. I know I'm a very junior pilot. I only have approximately 80 to 90 pilots junior to me, but that being said, I'm still 11% below the G line. That means statistically, when I check all the rosters each year, I can still hold a line when I weigh everything, and then still I can create days off in a row over 2 months period, so I can have a line, so I can come and commute to Turkey. That was the initial thought. Let's jump in the training phase. So I told you, right, I bid in August, I got awarded right away, but I had to wait approximately a couple of months. So my training started in November, and now I would like to talk a little bit about the training phase, but I'm not gonna give company-specific training things, but I would like to generalize what is happening in the United States in general, what kind of training system do they have, and what do we do in a very rough perspective for you to compare the training course from your own country's airlines, and you can see the differences in between them. So guys, first things first, I'm super happy to be in this company. By far, the best company that I've worked for is the company that I'm working right now. The training experience was top-notch, because most international pilots, they can see that they don't have most of the stuff that I'm gonna describe it to you. So in the United States, none of the airlines have EBT right now. The current trend in the world when it comes to pilot training, in the airlines, they have evidence-based training, EBT, but in the United States, they have AQP, Advanced Qualification Program. Therefore, it is not easy to compare these both. Both systems have their own pros and cons. So from an objective perspective, I cannot say that one side is better than the other side, because it is all about how you implement the system. For instance, previously, when I was in Emirates, I didn't like the Emirates training philosophy at all, and that was EBT. When you read the EBT on paper, it's a great system. I really liked it, but I didn't like how company implemented the training. But on the other hand, Advanced Qualification Program is really old, needs to replace lots of stuff because it doesn't address the current concerns of the aviation environment. Of course, the companies are adjusting internally to reflect their current situation, but definitely the AQP has lots of defects when it comes to evidence-based training, because nowadays airlines in the United States having more than 15,000, 18,000 pilots, and there are going to be more than 20,000 pilots in a short-term period. So they need to adjust the system for everyone based on their needs. It is almost impossible to design a system and 20,000 pilots will go into same system, and you're gonna expect the system will be successful for everyone. This is not gonna work. You need to tailor the system based on each individual pilot's needs. The evidence-based training, in fact, can address most of these concerns, but AQP, I believe, is still struggling. That being said, of course, the instructors are writing notes in the previous sessions. Next instructor can come and read your session, and then they can see you. But what I mean is, in detail, the better and deep analysis of the pilot. Since I'm in the United States, I have been trained in this AQP, which I really enjoyed, by the way. I don't complain about the AQP because my company implemented it in a nice way, much better than my previous airline. We can divide the upgrade course into two different courses. First, we call it Chum School. It is called Captain Upgrade course. So basically, you are in class for 2 weeks and you discuss topics about the CRM, leadership skills. You also meet the key people in the company, senior leadership positions. That was really awesome. And the other part is the traditional simulator training. It is called here Qualification course, which is CQ. So it's totally the same as type rating. I was already type rated, but still I had to go through the same course as new hire. So I will talk a little bit about this later, but now I would like to talk about the Chum School. Chum School is totally new to me. I haven't seen anything like this in my life before in the previous airlines, but I must say that this is by far the best training I have ever received in my life. First and foremost, there's no in the training correct and wrong answer. They're challenging you to think like a captain. They want you to, develop a leadership model. They want you to analyze the people around you. So we have disc profiles, then you analyze the people. It is all about the communication, management, leadership, and everything. And also the most important thing, which I liked a lot, is you speak with the key personnel of the airline. I was personally able to ask a question to CEO. Can you believe it? Each week, after each upgrade, CEO is making one-to-one session with the entire upgrade course, and he is from the first hand telling what's happening, and you can ask difficult questions to him, and even this is promoted by the facilitators so that you can get to know what's happening. And our CEO was really honest, and he was answering everything without even being in a political way or something. I really liked it. That was a super nice experience. I'm not talking only about the CEO, but you're talking about the chief operating officer, then depending on of course their schedule. You can talk with the key personnel and you can ask lots of questions to them, and that gives you the understanding of the vision of the company from the first hand, so you don't need to listen it from someone else. That's a great deal. Why I'm saying this so many times, because in my previous 2 airlines, I worked total combined more than 10 years, and I haven't seen the CEOs of the either company once in my life. I was not a captain, but I know their training schedule and training program, so I can easily say that they don't have anything like this. You cannot even imagine asking questions to them because they're simply too busy to have one-to-one conversations. But in my airline, this is totally different. So as a captain, as a team leader, they give everything to you so that you see the expectation from that from the first month. That's what I want to say. This qualification course, though I was qualified on 737 and I was flying 737, I was supposed to get the same course again. And it's not a short course, it was a full course. So I took everything from the scratch. Why it is happening like this is very simple, because they hire new first officers and they're matching with the captain upgrades. So as a captain candidate, you are mentoring the first officer, but at the same time, you are taking the same course. Because, okay, I was coming from 737, but potentially someone can upgrade from 320, can come from 756, can come from 777 or 7X to 737 captain, and they're not qualified. To have everyone in the same bucket, they put everyone in the long qualification course. That was in my case the same. I knew the airplane, I was flying there thousands of hours, so actually it helped me to transit from right to left easily by having full qualification course from the scratch. My team partner, great guy, was coming 320 Frontier, so he was really great guy. I was super lucky to have him. We went through the training together. The training itself consisting 3 different phases. And in fact, I can say 4. The first CBT days, you need to have, some certain hours of CBT training to finish, and then that takes approximately 3 days. You have a couple of days off, and then there are 3 phases of the training, A, B, C. A is more about the system knowledge, system, the way that how system works, they're showing implementation. In this part of training, you're not graded. So basically what's happening is, it's just like a warm-up, and then you're practicing the flows and everything, but the technical aspect of this training is not about the flows and everything. It's all about the getting familiarize yourself with the training and getting know more about the systems, because it is right after the system CBTs, right? So you study all this electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic system, landing gear, auto flight system. So you just review everything what you have studied in the CBTs. Once you are done with the A phase, B phase is all about the procedures and application of the SOP. It was time for standard operating procedures. So that's the time you practice the maneuvers, for instance, flows, pre-flight flows, and then preliminary pre-flights, and then you do everything like, taxi out, take off, climb, cruise, descend, approach, go around. You practice all these SOP things. So that's really important. A and B phase is happening not in full flight simulator, but in a fixed standard, training environment. So because it's all about the switches and everything, practicing the procedures. You're not technically focusing on landings. You don't focus on how to taxi, because it's all about the repetition. You repeat the ILS approaches, you repeat the RNAV approaches, you do the RLMP approaches, and then go around, call outs and everything. Once you are done with the A phase and the B phase, now it's time for the full flight simulator. Simulator trainings can be divided into 2 subgroups. After a couple of sessions, you are all the time practicing the maneuvers. At the end of these sessions, you will have MV, maneuver validation, and then you start the loft phase, and after that you have QLOE, and then you are done with the simulators. But are you done with the training? Not yet. But once you are done with the QLOE, which is the end of the simulator sessions, now finally you're awarded the captain pay. This is really nice, right? Once you are done with the simulator, the company finally starts paying you captain salary. Perfect timing. Oh, look at here. Who is here? Who is here? Rio, say hi. Say hi. I was telling my experience, Rio. And after QLOE, now it is time for real flying. In Europe, it is called LIFUS, right? Line flying under supervision. But here, it is called as IOE, Initial Operating Experience. Different terms, same meaning. Here in the United States, it depends on company to company, but in my company, you need to fly minimum 25 hours to finish your IOE. What happens is, they generally gives you 2 flights, and 2 flights give you somewhere around 25 hours. In my case, 2 flights, it was around 27 hours. But it doesn't mean that you will finish in 25 hours. If the instructors or evaluators think that you need more flying, they give you more flying. I consider myself lucky. It was challenging 2 trips for me because the weather was bad, like gusting 40 knots all the time, crosswinds, and that was happening unfortunately when these fires in California, especially around Los Angeles. So I was, for instance, landing Orange County, and you could see the turbulence, you could see how gusty the wind is. Then you could see, unfortunately, the reason why it was very, very, very tough to start fire, because the wind was blowing with 50 knots. and it was gusty, and then you can see that the small sparkles are flying from one point to another point. It was crazy weather, and one of the worst turbulences that I've ever experienced in my life. I got experiences while I was flying from the left seat and I was landing in a short runway, Orange County. So those things happen, the icing conditions and everything. And then actually it is good because, you know, as a captain, you're flying for the first time. That's what everyone always says, right? Whatever happens, it happens in your first 100 hours as a captain while you're not that experienced. So that kind of happened to me, but I managed it very well. And I was able to finish in 27 hours. So what happens is, so basically somewhere around your 25 hours, you need to have an FAA ride, and then in the last segment of your last pairing, you need to have line check. So if you pass these two, then you're gonna release to a line, then officially you finish your training. And I was able to finish in 2 trips with 27 hours. That was awesome experience. That being said, still after finishing, you still have some restrictions because still you're a low minima captain. You have some restrictions until you reach 100 hours. And on top of that, there are some special qualification airports, right? Each airline has those, or FAA defines some. For instance, Bogota, for instance, Eagle, for instance, Guatemala, for instance, Mexico City. You cannot fly them, though I flew them too many times as a first officer in my current airline or my previous airlines. I am not eligible to fly there as a captain. What I need to have is, I need to have an LCA flying there with me to release me to these airports. What I'm saying is still there's a lot to go, and I'm on the way. I'm a baby captain right now. I still have a lot to experience and then, you know, improve myself. I'm still working day and night, hours and hours every day. The last but not least, we are gonna discuss what is next. All right, guys, quick introduction. I was 80% in the company. I had approximately more than 3,500 pilots junior to me. It's getting really fast compared to previous years. I'm getting more seniority every day, so I'm super happy with that. I was 40% Houston FO, now I'm 86% New York captain, and I'm gonna be 75% New York captain in a couple of months. And I'm planning to still have a month on, a month off, so let's see. In order to make this, I need to be a line holder, and until now, in the last 2 months, I managed to get a line, so which is great. Everything is going as planned, and I'm targeting to have 90 credits per month while having 30 days off. So let's see if I'm gonna be successful or not. Nice thing about the US Airlines legacy system, seniority is getting better every day. Last year, the airline stopped hiring a little bit, and then they decreased the number due to production issues. Airline cannot grow that big that as they planned before, so it is also affecting the hiring in the legacies. But still, I consider myself extremely lucky because I'm finishing 2 years now, and then I have almost 4,000 pilots junior to me. So those times are really, really crazy. I'm super happy. Hopefully this can be my last airline if there is no crisis, if there will be, I know there will be crisis, but like once crisis hit, I hope I can keep my position. If I cannot keep position, I hope I can keep my company. Yeah, that was my experience, guys. What do you think about that? I would like to hear from you. If you are a captain, could you please share your experience with me? How was your company's upgrade policy? What did you do? How was it? Or if you're an international captain, please do share with me your company's policies when it comes to upgrade. Now I'm slowly getting back on YouTube. I'm promising you guys I will try to publish more videos on YouTube, and also I'm really open to new ideas. Please do share with me what kind of videos you would like to see in this channel. I will try to make videos based on what you want. That being said, as usual, before going, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and like the videos, all right? See you in the another video. Bye bye.